Okay, graphing, and then there'll be more on this next week. So here's the first thing we're going to be on. And what I'm going to do and what I want you to use is this sheet right here. Now, if your x and y are on opposite sides of the equals, you're going to use slope and y-intercept. If the x and the y are on the same side of the equals, you're going to use the table and calculate the y and the x-intercept. If I have only x with no y, this is what I do. If there's no y, we'll just put 1, 2, 3 under it. And if I have only y with no x, I make the xy table. And then the no x means I can put 1, 2, 3 under x. Okay, so let's be looking at this. Made it. Again, I didn't want to kill trees with it. I made it to help you out. So graph the equation. So first thing you do is circle your equals, and then you mark where x and y are at. Here's y, here's x. I have them both, so am I on the same side of the equals or am I on opposite sides? Well, I'm on opposite sides. So if they're on opposite sides of the equals, we're going to use the slope and the y-intercept method. Okay, your slope is -4. That needs to be a fraction. Put a 1 under it, and then -1 is your y-intercept. So the y-intercept's up or down. It's negative, so it'd be down. And then the slope is rise over run. So I have a negative, so it's down, and then to the right. So now I'm ready to go. I just go straight down to -1. And then from there, I go down 4 and right 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. Okay. That's all there is to it. Okay, my next problem, circle the equals and then mark where your x and y. Here's x and here's y. They are now on the same side, so they're on the same side of the equals. So I want to set this up. So write that down twice. So 3x plus 4y equals -12, and then again. Okay, so if x is 0, 3x can be removed from the equation. Dot your 4y, circle it, divide by 4, and that's -3. Okay, now, if y is 0, you can cross out your 4y, dot it, circle it, divide by 3, and -12 divided by 3 is -4. Okay, so the first point we stay, and then I go up or down. I'm going to go down. And then the second point we move left or right, so we're going to move left and stay. Okay, so 0, -3, I go down 1, 2, 3. And then -4, 0, I go back to the middle. You can't move from this point, okay? I go back to the middle, and I go left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stay. Okay, so that's the graph for that equation. Okay, my next problem. Y equals 1/3 x minus 4, so equals, I have a y and I have an x, okay? Are they on the same side or are they on opposite sides? They're on opposite sides, so we need to use our slope and y-intercept. So slope and y-intercept. So the slope is 1/3, so 1/3. And the y-intercept is -4. So I go up or down, I'll move down. And then the slopes rise over run, so I'm going to go up 1, right 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from there I go up 1, right 1, 2, 3. So, if you're getting confused on which way to do it, that's the way to go. Okay, x equals -3. So here's equals. So I have x, but I don't have y. Okay, so I write only x, no y. So only x and no y. We want to set up this table here. And then I put a 1, 2, and a 3 under the y because there is no y. I'm never going to have to plug anything in, so just use the easiest numbers possible. And the x is blank because it equals -3, so I put -3, -3, -3. Okay, so in the x column, it's right to left. Those are arrows that got cut off. Those are all negative, so we're going to go left. And then the y is up, 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 because they're all positive. So I go left 3, up 1. I go left 3, up 2. And I go left 3, up 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it is a straight vertical line. Okay, my next one. Y equals -5x plus 2. So here's the equals. You got your x. You got your y right there. Okay. So I have both of them. Are they on the same side or are they on opposite sides? They're on opposite sides. So when they're on opposite sides, we use slope and y-intercept. So the slope is -5. You can put a 1 underneath it. And the y-intercept is 2. So again, the y-intercept, I'm going to go up. And in the slope, I have -5, so I go down 5 and right 1. So I graph that first. 1, 2. And then I go down 5 from this point. Not from the middle, from this point. Slope, you go from your first point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 1. Okay, next one. Here's the equals, and I have an x, and I have a y. Now, are they on the same side or are they on opposite sides? They're on the same side, okay? So we set this up. And of course, from there, I write this down twice. So -4x plus 6y equals -12, and then write it again. Because you have to find those numbers that correlate to the 0. So if x is 0, we can get rid of 4x. And so I have 6 times y equals -12, so I divide by 6, and that's -2. Okay, y is 0, so eliminate 6y. Dot the -4x, divided by -4, and that's 3. Okay. Now remember how the table goes. Stay, and then either up or down. It's going to be down. Either right or left, and then stay. This is positive, so you're going to the right, and then stay. So 0, -2, I stay and go down 2. -3, 0, I go 3 to the right and stay. Okay, my next problem, y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Okay, here's the equals, and here's y, and here's x. Are they on the same side or are they on the opposite sides? They're on the opposite sides. So you set up your slope and y-intercept. So my slope is 2/3 and the y-intercept is -1. So again, the y-intercept first, I go down 1, and then from here that's positive, so up and 3 to the right. So I go down 1, and then up 2, so I go up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Can't see it, just guess where it's at. And then here's my equals, and I only have one letter, okay? There's only a Y, there's no X at all, okay? So only Y with no X. We want to set up a table that looks like that. Now if there's no X, okay, X is 1, 2, and 3. And then Y is the same number every time, so that's going to be 2, 2, 2. Okay, so my X's are all positive, so I move to the right with all those. And then the Y's could be up or down depending on if we have a positive or a negative. So these are positive, so up, up, and up. So 1, 2, I go right 1, up 2, right 2, up 2, and right 3, up 2. Okay, so again, if the X and Y are on opposite sides of the equals, you set up your slope and your Y-intercept. If the X and Y are on the same side of the equals, you need to set that up. If I have only X with no Y, this is how we're going to roll here, because no Y means Y is 1, 2, 3. If I have only a Y without any X, then X is going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, complete the 4 problems and the rest of them. And it's on to the next one. I want you to work on the domain and range. Pay attention to this arrow that I put. That tells me whether that goes up or down. So I have a 40-page paper to type. Each hour I finish 5 pages. Find the domain and range in relation to the pages I have left to type. So X and Y, and then put the labels. X is the hours, and Y is the pages. So at 0 hours, I have 40 pages. That's how many I begin with. Then after 1 hour, what is that doing? Going up or down? It's going down, so you need to minus 5 every hour. So minus 5 is 35. This one's kind of an annoying one because it goes on forever. This here's 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, just about there, 5, and we may stop because there's no way I can get lower than 0. I will stop typing at that point. So, what's the lowest number of hours you have? 0, okay? And then the highest number we have is 8. What's the lowest number of pages or Y that you have? 0. What's the highest number? 40. Okay. So the X runs from 0 to 8, the range runs from 0 to 40. Okay. Example 2. A person has $800. That's an 800. Sorry, the circle's in the way. They're going to start saving $100 each month. Identify the domain and range in relation to the amount of money in their account. So, X is the months, and the Y is the dollars. So at 0 months, we had $800. And then we get to 1 month. Now, what's the money doing? It's going up, okay? So it's going up, we add the 100. So after 900, and then 1,000. Now at this point in the problem, you should decide, well, I have no idea when I'm going to stop because I know I'm going up, so I'm never going to reach 0. So again, now we do our infinity, INF. and that one goes to infinity. Okay, so our domain, the lowest number is 0. I don't have a highest number because it goes to infinity, so INF. The lowest number I have in this column is 800. I don't know where I stopped, so that's going to be infinity too, so INF. Okay. Example 3. A hurricane is 500 miles from the coast. Each hour it moves 100 miles closer. Identify the domain and range in relation to the hurricane's distance from the coast. So the X is our hours, and the Y is our miles. So at the beginning we had 500 miles. Now, when something's coming closer to me, the distance is going to shrink. That's why we have a down arrow, okay? So after 1 hour, I minus 100, so 400. After 2 hours, we minus 100 again, and that's 300. 3 hours, it's 200. After 4 hours, I'm at 100. After 5 hours, I finally get to 0, so I can stop. What's the lowest number you had under hours? You had 0. What's the highest number you had under hours? You had 5. What's the lowest number you had for your miles? You had 0. And what's the highest number? You had 500. Okay. So that's what a domain and range is going to look like. Example 4. A town has 5,000 people. Each year, the amount increases by 1,000 people. Identify the domain and range in relation to the amount of people in the town. So X, Y, and X stands for years, and Y stands for people. So at 0 years, we started with 5,000 people. Remember, if I'm keeping track of the people, there's people moving in, so it's going to increase. The rate of change is positive, so we need to be adding every single time. You got to pay attention to that arrow. I did that to help you. And then I add 1,000, so now we're at 6,000. I add 1,000, I'm at 7,000. 8,000. Now, at this point in the problem, I realized, gee, this could go on forever, okay? So that goes to infinity, and that goes to infinity. So, what's your lowest number you had in the years? You had 0. The highest number, I don't have a highest number because it goes to infinity, so INF. What's the lowest number of people you had? A lot of people will just put 0 there. That's wrong. There is no 0. The people we had in this town was never at 0. The lowest number of people we had is the starting amount, which is 5,000. And the highest number I have, I don't know, because it goes to infinity. Okay, it just keeps on going up and up and up. So INF. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I will talk to you guys next time.